Why?
Do we really care that much? Do voters care that much? No, let me say this. Do voters care that much? Do voters care that much? That's a serious question. About whether he is in charge or isn't in charge. We have a president of the United States.
Government waste exists.
It does exist.
And I applaud them.
Then why do you guys keep defending it?
We're not defending cutting government waste, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have on X a numbers thing running with the amount of money you're saving, but then say, how dare you ask us how we're doing it or who's in charge of it? You can't do that.
Or where it goes. This is the other, they're talking about all this money being saved. Well, you might want to expect then a check from the government to come back into your pockets, but most Americans aren't going to get that check. But do you know who will get that check? The 1% of billionaires and millionaires. What are his qualifications?
The
president trusts him.
The
president trusts him.
Do not, because the president.
The president trusts him. That's the president's prerogative.
That's fine.
You're going to be on the United States Supreme Court. You're going to be a Secretary of State.
That's fine.
No. Everybody that you just mentioned, though, goes through a hearing. A separate hearing.
Yeah. That is my point.
You can
There's
tell
no
us.
law.
But you can tell us more than.
Hello, everybody. Guys, let's get right into this panel. It gets pretty heated. Again, disregard the background. I'm visiting some family. Let's get right into it and we'll talk about it.
Really? Well, think about that for a moment. The government wants you to believe that the person putting thousands of people out of work, making them rethink their entire lives, how they feed their families, technically he has no power to do what he's doing. And the president says he doesn't really care.
Elon is, to me, a patriot. So, you know, you could call him an employee, you could call him a consultant, you could call him whatever you want, but he's a patriot.
But when the president said that the president-elect, he did have a very clear idea about who was actually in charge. This was his answer just a few weeks ago. He said it was Elon Musk. Here's the Truth Social post to prove it. Quote, the great Elon Musk, working in conjunction with American patriot Vivek Ramaswamy, no more, will lead the Department of Government Efficiency. Ramaswamy is gone, but Elon Musk is still here. And if you're going, well, that's one social media post, well, he also said it as well. Listen.
We will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. We will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by a gentleman named Elon Musk who's here someplace.
Okay, so now even asking questions about Doge and its mission is apparently out of bounds.
You may assert there's no waste in the Pentagon. You may assert there's no waste in
Stephen,
Treasury.
I'm not
you
asserting,
may assert there's no waste in HHS.
Stephen, I don't think anyone...
Then why are you not celebrating these cuts? If you agree there is waste, if you agree there is abuse, if you agree there is corruption, why are you not celebrating the cuts? Higher salaries of American workers that are taxed disappear forever.
Stephen, let's calm down.
This is not...
We're not having a debate.
There's no reason
about whether there are places...
You are clearly trying to debate me, and I will be as excited as I want to be.
Joining us in our...
Guys, MAGA and conservatives, they're just effing weird. Like, that dude is weird. He's a creepy, creepy man. Being all giddy like that, combative, she's just talking in a very monotone, low voice. Like, for someone who's so confident and giddy about what they're doing, they seem to be quite defensive over it. And honestly, I think Trump at this point, he's just a sock puppet for Elon Musk. Elon Musk is just controlling him. He just lets him sit behind the chair, the Resolute desk, while Elon Musk does anything he wants. He's being controlled by the richest man in the world. Conservatives, you can't see this. If you're still so blinded, it gets worse.
Seat is Dante Mills. He's a civil and criminal attorney and a law professor at Temple University's Beasley School of Law, and he will also be as excited as he wants to be. You know, why are they so finicky about wanting to call Elon Musk the head of Doge? What are the legalities here that they're trying to avoid?
I feel like I have to start by saying go Birds. I have to. Now that that's out the way, I can say, so there's an appointments clause that says that Congress has to establish any new offices within the government. And once they establish that, whoever fills that or leads that has to go through a screening from Congress, right? Elon Musk wants to avoid that. So what they're trying to do with the Trump administration is act as if this is an advisory committee and not an official department. However, you see them operating as an official department. They want access to certain documents. They're making more than just recommendations because whatever comes from that office happens. So they're doing more than making recommendations. They're having access to public records. They are an official department, but Elon Musk does not want the conflicts to come in place because if he's determined to be a governmental employee, then he has to give up those governmental contracts that he has with his company. So there's a reason why they want to create that separation. I think they're doing a bad job of doing it.
It's too late.
But there's a reason.
Well, it's too late.
And conservatives out there, MAGA morons, you can't think for yourself. They're so giddy to take away these programs that, honestly, it just benefits working class Americans, lower income class Americans. The super rich people, they want to get rid of that. Again, all they want to do is get rid of it. They're not going to send you a check. They're going to pocket that money in the form of tax cuts. Go ahead, go ask for your Trump check. See if he'll give you it. Go scream for it. Put it on Twitter. Ask Elon, are we going to get some checks back? You guys won't, because you guys don't care about getting effed. That's what it means to be a cultist. You won't call out the obvious. Guys, they're trying to get rid of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This is, they're meant to protect us from the super rich, from taking advantage of us. Like banks and overdraft fees and banking fees, all these sneaky crap they try to do. Why do you think they're doing that? Why do you think they're going after that? But they're not combating inflation. You know why? Because inflation helps, combating inflation will help all of us, working class, everyday people. Inflation just doesn't affect them that much. They're not even talking about it. And you guys are getting completely rolled. But I think at this point, MAGA, conservatives, you guys don't care. Whatever the other side wants, you want the opposite. If the other side wants to help everyday working class Americans, you don't. That's just how you guys are.
As Abby, just thank you for all the sound bites. He's the head of the department. And what I think is really interesting is how when I read different articles, they call his team of friends or people who think like him officials. They are not officials because
some of them are. Some of them apparently are employed.
Some are, but for the reality that 19-year-old or then 25-year-old or whomever we were referring to who was making these comments earlier. Remember last week or 2 weeks ago we were talking about that? A lot of his employees are people that, not his employees, the people that are working for Doge are people that are like-minded with him, and he's in charge of them. So it's clear that he still is, to your point, in charge, but it's a bad separation. I also think the talking points are too late. Here's my thing. They have already decided that he was in charge. Many of us already know. Little X told us, we're going to do it. Little X said, we're going to do it quietly. They'll never know. Little X said, shush your mouth. You're not the president. Little X told us what the game was. And if we're pretending like Little X didn't give us a window into what is actually happening, I think that's ridiculous. I know people may disagree, but I'm here to tell you, Little X gave us the information.
I mean,
and just for some clarification, the 19-25-year-old she was talking about, one of them was the disgusting, vile racist who resigned after his Twitter post, became public, or people were talking about it and found out he was working for Doge. And guys, the Trump administration rehired him back. They realized he was a perfect fit and perfect ideology. A vile racist, yes, we need more of them. I wouldn't be surprised if they pay the guy more money to come back. No, we're not racist. Why are you guys always calling us racist? I don't understand it. You guys just call us racist for no reason. Pathetic.
Can we really be surprised, though? I mean, a lot of the sound bites, or at least one or two you showed, was, I believe, during the campaign. So how can we be surprised? Like today, he did the IVF, right? And promises made, promises kept. He's going to make it a lot easier for people to get funding for IVF. So this is no secret. He was talking about, he just said it. That was him on the campaign trail. So are we surprised?
He's saying that Elon is in charge of Doge, but they don't want to have him go through any kind of accountability process. And the lack of accountability, I think, extends beyond just who has the title, right? There's a court filing today in the hearings, some of the hearings that have been going on, saying the defendants are aware that a select set of agencies, in fact, terminated a number of employees at the end of last week. How many, they can't say. Why?
Do we really care that much? Do voters care that much? No, let me say this. Do voters care that much? Do voters care that much? That's a serious question.
About what? Care about what?
About whether he is in charge or isn't in charge. We have a president of the United... Hold on.
Do they care about the jobs or Elon is what I'm trying to clarify.
I'm saying, do they care whether he's in charge or not in charge, or do they care what's getting done every single day? Because from what I'm seeing... What's that?
Yes, they have the right to know?
No, we have a president of the United States who executes and makes these decisions every single day. He made that clear in their press conference with them.
Why would they avoid the same accountability that every other agency head has? I mean, if the public has a right to know about who's the head of the Department of Homeland Security, why not the head of DOGE?
Well, he is, from what I understand, what's called an SGE, a special governmental employee. That happens all the time throughout government, where people come into the government, they are unpaid,
now, are
and
they
serve
from
as
South
advisor
Africa?
and advisors for roles. That's what I'm saying. That
Are they
happens
from
throughout...
South Africa?
Well, let me finish. This is what happened. Yeah, this is what happens in government all the time. But everybody's worked up because of what they're doing. That's my point. The president is the president. He has advisors all the time around him. Are we worried about every single agency and who's doing what at all times? No, of course we're not, because it's Elon Musk and Donald Trump. That's why we're blowing it out of proportion. But I would argue...
I think it's also because there are reportedly tens of thousands of people, maybe many more than that, losing their jobs, entire functions of the government no longer functioning. I'm just saying, it's not just because people are suddenly interested in the nitty-gritty details, it's because all of a sudden, whole swaths of the government that were functioning before are not anymore. And don't you think?
Well, no, I don't think that's true. What do you mean the government's not functioning?
The entire Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is not functioning. That's an entire
yeah, but that's,
I'm tagging you in, friend.
Congressionally authorized agency. Go ahead, Ashley.
I'm sorry, that's just insane. The way he says that. Well, do the American voters care? By voters, he means obviously Republicans and MAGA. And I'll have to agree with him. They don't care. I'm telling you, the cultists, this MAGA base, they do not give an F. Again, the reason they don't is because their daddy, Trump and Elon, two daddies, are saying that it's a good thing. Look at all the good things. These guys believe anything. The whole $50 billion in condoms, whatever. They literally believe anything. One of them came on to her show, and Emily, forgot her last name. She came onto the show and said one of these stupid conspiracies, and they had to call her out on it. These people believe anything. Again, this is why the guy is saying there, I don't think they care. Yeah, they don't care. This is why Trump called you guys mindless. He could shoot somebody in Times Square, and you guys will still vote for him. He was calling you stupid, mindless. You're going to follow him no matter what he does. He's your cult leader.
Two things are happening. I actually don't disagree with what you're saying. I think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are placing a bet that the American people actually don't care. But I think Democrats have a responsibility to explain why they should.
Yeah.
My sister's a teacher. She talks about her students being terrified that it's in Washington, D.C., that their parents are losing their jobs. It's impacting the students and how they show up to learn every day at that school. There are people in Kansas, farmers in the Midwest, who are not getting access to grants. Trump voters. That is what we need to be telling the American people. I think what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing is terrible. And as someone who loves our government and thinks that it's important, I do want to know all the ins and outs. But when Americans, we just learned this on November 5th, they actually might not care as much as who is in charge, but they do care what they are doing. This is where I disagree with you. And I think what Elon Musk and them are doing right now, deciding to fire FAA officials when it seems like we have a plane crash in this country every other day. People don't feel safe to fly in the air right now in this country. And what Donald Trump is doing feels like it's tone deaf. What Democrats have a responsibility to do is to translate that into the American people, not in Washington, D.C., but on Main Street, where their eggs are still too expensive, bacon is still too expensive, bread is still too expensive.
Government waste exists.
It does exist.
And I applaud them.
Then why do you guys keep defending it?
Here's the thing. We're not defending cutting government waste, but you.
Like, this guy is such a prick. Like, I hate when they make these stupid arguments. No one is talking about cutting nothing. It's fine to make cuts where necessary. They're just bulldozing through. This idiot knows the argument. He knows that's the argument. It's not that the cutting itself. It's how they're doing it. They're just rampaging through. Guys, they cut the staff, the nuke staff that are watching over the nuclear weapon stockpile we have. They fired them blindly because they didn't know. They made a mistake. They admitted they made a mistake. And that's the problem. You guys are going too fast. You're so greedy. You so badly want to save this money so that you can take 90% of the benefits like they did last time with the tax cuts. They're so greedy. This is all about them. This is all about them. Again, did they ever mention once, MAGA conservatives out there, that they're going to send you a check? Did they tell you how much your tax rates are going to go lower by? Like, these guys are gross.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have on X a numbers thing running with the amount of money you're saving, but then say, how dare you ask us how we're doing it or who's in charge of it. You can't do
or
that.
where it goes. This is the other thing.
Where it goes.
I want the American people also to pay close attention to the tax fight that's about to happen. And I know we don't like to talk about the specifics of tax fight, but they're talking about all this money being saved. Well, you might want to expect then a check from the government to come back into your pockets, but most Americans aren't going to get that check. But do you know who will get that check? The 1% of billionaires and millionaires who are going to get benefits from these.
It's not going to make up for it. I mean, I'm just telling you, the facts are, okay, Doge says that.
And you saw the conservative there, right, guys? He just made a stupid face and looked away. Where's your rebuttal? You know they're ready to jump at any time. Where's the rebuttal? These at first know it's true.
They have cut about $16 billion, which is a rounding error in the federal government's budget. But of that $16 billion, they claim they saved $8 billion. This is according to the New York Times. $8 billion on a single contract. Turns out it wasn't $8 billion. It was $8 million.
Yeah, of course.
So we're talking pennies here. In the scale of the $6 trillion federal budget, it's pennies. And to Ashley's point, there is going to be a tax bill. There's going to be a budget put forward, and it's going to add trillions in spending. So where is Doge actually making a difference, or are they just cutting things that ideologically don't fit?
Well, I don't think there was ever a promise made that we're going to pay for a tax cut bill with what Doge did or what they're doing. That was
I
never.
thought Elon said he was going to cut $2 trillion.
Well, that may be true, but I don't think the commitment was ever we're going to pay for a tax bill.
We're 1 month in.
Yeah.
Like, we're 1 month in. We're not even 1 month
But
in, right?
all
So
they're
it's not even February 21st. So, you know, like, it's 28 days. It's 4 weeks.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Let's see what happens.
But Ashley, help me. Can someone help me? Why are we? And maybe you can. Maybe you can help me. Why are we talking about Elon Musk as someone who can come in and slash the government spending because he is in charge, and we're not like the guy who made my Tesla's in charge of the federal government? Tell me what are his qualifications? What are his qualifications?
No
and
hearing,
the
president trusts
don't
him.
give me.
The president trusts him.
Do not, because the president.
The president trusts him. That's the president's prerogative.
That's fine.
You're going to be on the United States Supreme Court. You're going to be a Secretary of State.
That's fine.
No. Everybody that you just mentioned, though, goes through a hearing. A separate hearing.
That is my point.
But you can
There's
tell
no
us.
law.
But you can tell us more than anyone.
There's no law.
How many positions there are very close to the president that are not confirmed by the Senate? You lived it.
Yes.
And I think that's unbelievable. Trump trusts him. Yeah. Trump trusts that he gave him $250 million so that he can win the campaign. And he won by a hair. That's why he likes him. This is all quid pro quo. I give you this money, I'm taking control. And you stay out of jail. Like, MAGA, if you can't see, MAGA, you believe in the most stupidest conspiracy. Jewish space lasers. Pizzagate. All this nuts. I mean, we can just go on and on of the things that you guys believe about Obama and just nonsense. But you cannot see what's clearly in front of you. He's the richest effing man in the world. Yeah, he's gonna help me out. He's gonna help me out, right? He's gonna help everyday low-income Kentucky random American, right? Are you effing this stupid?
Man is asking for important information and he wants to play in my taxes.
We go through a 6-month security clearance, whether
Who
you
is
are
this
answering the
man?
phone or whether you're in the
Mom,
Oval
who
every
is this
day.
man?
Carrie, hold on,
Literally, if you are answering the phone or you are in the Oval Office every single day, you go through a FX68 or FS, you know what the number, some form. It is about 100 pages long. You have to fill it out before you can even walk in. People get calls for 6 months from the FBI checking your background, asking questions, and then if you're on any boards, if you own any stocks, anything like that, you have to relinquish them before you get a .gov.
Okay, just explain this to me. If you get elected.
This is so hilarious. The bald dude thinks she was going to be on his side. That's why he said, hey, you know better than us. You worked there just recently. Tell us. And she just told him litany of background checks and checking of conflicts of interest and screenings. Like, unbelievable. This guy's a fool.
Elected in January, and you're taking office in 2 months. Where's the 6 months that the FBI vets everybody?
You go because as soon as you win,
right, that's November 5th.
Right, you have vetting attorneys that are already on your transition team.
Go ahead.
You get an interview from a vetting attorney, and you start, it's an expedited. Somebody at that level, quite honestly, at Elon's level, would get an expedited vetting process that could be done in 6 months. But the due diligence happens for 6 more months.
But how do we know that's not happening?
Well,
just asking, how do we know it's not happening?
It didn't happen.
That's a very good question. The questions are being asked. The White House is just not answering them.
Correct.
And when news organizations like CNN say, okay, we're going to put a FOIA in place to just find out what documents were filled out, that office is gone.
And why is the pushback
everyone,
so strong?
Hang tight. There's more.
All right, we're going to leave it there, guys. I mean, I just think this is incredible. Oh, my God. I just can't wait till these inevitable tax cuts happen and MAGA is left empty-handed again. Oh, maybe you got a $50 increase in a monthly paycheck while inflation keeps skyrocketing. Inflation has been increasing, guys, since Trump has been in office. Tariffs are just going to make everything more expensive. Ugh. And the richest man in the world is in control of the government, controlling the president, who's just a out of this world moron, and controlling him like a puppet. It's a little sock puppet. The racist and the fascist, they're both actually racist and fascist. It's unbelievable. I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Please leave a comment. I read just about all of them. Please subscribe if you haven't. It really helps the channel. And I'll catch you in the next one. And again, sorry for the background. It might be another few days. And I'll catch you in the next one.